Keyheart here. Today I wanted to do a video about choosing a name for your little one. I just had a son. He's 2 months old now, and I think choosing the name is one of the hardest things for parents to do. You want a name that is going to make him or her relatable to other people. You want them to be able to pronounce it. You want them to be able to get jobs and operate in the world, but you also want a name that's creative, that says something about who they are or who their soul was meant to be in this world. And so choosing a name is one of the most significant parts of being pregnant and delivering a child into this world. It's almost as if you're choosing so much about who they are or who they will be in this world. And you want that name to be significant. You want it to mean something. So when I had my first daughter, who's about 2 years old now, choosing her name was something that brought me so much anxiety. I mean, I researched on the internet, I looked through books, I was constantly just, like, every name I heard, it was almost like it was going into my computerized brain. And I was like, is that a good name? How does that sound? What does that mean? Da 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 da. Every name I liked or thought I liked, I would research it and see what it meant, where it was from. Yeah, it was quite a process. And then if I fell in love with the name, my partner didn't like the name. And if he fell in love with the name, I didn't like the name. And then I would bring up a name and he would be like, I knew a girl in the 3rd grade with that name and I hated her. Or I would be like, oh no, that's the name of this or that person, and she can't have that name. So finally, maybe about 3 months before her birth, her due date, we chose a name that we both liked. And we loved the meaning, we both loved the way that it sounded. And so with my son, I was not looking forward to going into that process again. I just didn't want it to be anxious. I didn't want it to feel stressful, or I didn't want to feel pressured. When we finally came across my daughter's name, it's as if my whole body just lit up. You know what I mean? I just felt yes on every level of my being. I knew that this was her name. I didn't really have to think about it consciously. I just felt, yes, this is the name. And when I said it to my husband, he felt the same way. So I was wondering, was there a way to get to that moment of illumination about the name without the stress? And that's what I was sending up. That's what I was praying and meditating about for my son's name. So with his name, people kept asking us, do you have a few name options? Are you thinking about names? And I was just like, nope. I'm not thinking about names. I'm not searching for names. When it's time for his name to be revealed to me, it will be. And it taught me a very important lesson about parenting. Is so much of the time we think we're choosing things for our children. We're choosing their path in life. We're choosing who they're going to be. And the truth of the matter is they come to us with the soul and the spirit. And we're not choosing that. In fact, I really believe they're choosing us as parents. But we're not choosing sort of the deep down essence of who they are. Sure, we choose the schools they go to, the way that they dress, we choose their name, we choose the neighborhood they live in, but the soul or the spirit of who they are comes with them. And so it's not really about choosing who they're going to be. It's about tapping in, especially with the pregnant mamas. You know that our intuition is heightened and our connection to spirituality is heightened when we're pregnant. And so it's really about tapping into who they are and allowing that to produce a name. So one of the prayers that I kept praying over and over again was, let me know this child. Let me know the idea of this child in the world. What is the idea of this child in the world? What is the thought of this child in the world? What is their soul's purpose? And then by asking those questions, give me a name that embodies that. Give me a name that they can embody that will remind them of who they are. give me a name that will let the world know that this is who they are. And so I just kept saying that over and over again. Every time I felt pressured, every time I felt stressed, every time someone asked me, what is their name? What are you looking at? What are the names that you're contemplating? Still, I would say none. I'm waiting for the answer to my questions. Instead of stressing and searching and trying to find a name, I'm allowing the name to come to me, and I'm allowing the answer to my questions to come to me. And so I would just repeat that at night. I would repeat that anytime I was thinking about it. What is the idea of this child in the world? And so my daughter and I were watching the Muhammad Ali movie with Will Smith. And there's this part where he's in Africa, and he's jogging, and all of these people start jogging with him. They all start jogging with him, and it's like this big mob of people jogging with him, and they take him to this wall where they've painted, someone has painted this collage of him boxing or whatever. But it's the most beautiful collage, and to me this is the most beautiful part of the whole movie. I'm a fan of Muhammad Ali. I'm not a fan of boxing, but just his spirit and who he was, and sort of his political activism I'm a fan of. His ideas of the world and who he was in it, I'm a huge fan of. And I love to see people evolve. You know, I love to see him kind of, you know, read about him, because I wasn't alive, but I love to read about how he evolved spiritually. So anyway, they're chanting this chant, and gosh, I should have practiced before I recorded this video, because I can't remember the exact words, but it has Ali. It's like, Bambayai, Ali, Bambayai, Ali. And of course, I'm not sure if, you know, I have the pronunciation correct, but I have the name correct. And so they're singing and chanting this, and my daughter, she starts singing and chanting this. She woke up and kind of watched that part with me, and she's like, she's kind of in this trance, and she's singing this and she's chanting this, and you know, as she's doing it, I got that same feeling. My whole body lit up, and I was like, Ali, gosh, that's a really beautiful name for a boy. That's a strong and it's just strong and beautiful. It just really struck me. And in that moment, I knew this was his name before I even looked it up. I looked it up, and it means Most High, which is perfect, because I'm asking, what is his highest purpose? How can I remind him to live his highest purpose? And this is the name I get, Most High. And gosh, just the most beautiful name. So I ran it by my husband, and he loved it too. So this was really the first boy name in this pregnancy that we contemplated together. And we didn't even know his gender. That's another thing. It was gonna be a surprise. I'm getting all excited, let me calm down. But it was gonna be a surprise for us on the day that I delivered him, what his sex was gonna be. So we didn't find out that prior to choosing a name. But the funny thing is, we didn't even choose a female name or a girl name. We only chose, I just knew I needed a boy name. Like, we didn't even have a girl name. So if it had been a girl, I don't know what we would have named her. But everything in my being told me that this baby was a boy. Even before I got pregnant, I knew that my next child would be a boy. And you know, when we were trying, oddly enough, it felt like we were trying for a boy. Like, it didn't feel like, you know, I just knew that the spirit that I would be carrying would be a boy, or the manifestation of a boy in this life. So anyway, I ran the name by my husband. He loved it. We didn't tell anyone, because this was his name. So a lot of times when you reveal the name to people, they will give their opinion about the name, which, if you don't have children, or if you do have children, look, don't give your opinion about, if the child's name has been chosen. I don't care if you're the grandparent, the best friend, the auntie, the uncle, don't give your opinion about the name. Like, that's the child's name. Their name is what the parents chose, and for you to be like, I don't like that, or I don't know about that, that's rude. But anyway, we didn't have that so much with the first child. One of my close friends and I actually did choose the same name, but she ended up having a son, so woo, that was a relief. But anyway, we didn't tell anyone, and when he came out, I knew that this was Ali. I was like, this is Ali, this is your name, this is who you are. So if you need help choosing a name, try the prayer, try to ask who this person is, and if you can reveal a name, just ask. And everything we ask for, we usually get the answer to in some way or another. Someone may not sit down and say the answer to your question is this, but just in feelings and in ideas and thoughts, you'll get the answer to your question. And so just ask, what is the idea of this child? Who is this child? Who will this child be in the world? What is the purpose of their soul? Why are they coming here? Let me choose a name. Reveal a name to me that embodies this idea. What is the name that embodies the idea of this child? What is the name that embodies the idea of this child? What is the name that embodies the idea of this child? And you'll get an answer. And I think that was, that was a lot easier than the first time where I was searching, and I really enjoyed the whole process. It really taught me that even as a parent, sometimes we have to let go and let God, and we have to be willing to receive, insight as far as our children are concerned. So hope that helps you. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.